Yep, I'm good. Uh, Hopefully that came across and I'm good.
Hi everyone and welcome for another edition of our Skytear Sunday. This is the 30th episode if I'm not mistaken. And today we'll see Cdubs who won against Kirito last week and he's going to play against RGCommander. There will be a few things demonstrated today that are new, so it's going to be fairly interesting. I'm here with Matthias.
Howdy, everybody. I'm happy to be here in the booth with you, Aethusium.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. We're going to give the player a few minutes to set up properly. I think they've already drawn the tokens to know who's going to start. So let me just show the board to everyone. Here is what we've got. On the lower side, we've got RGCommander playing a team composed of Yami. So yeah, no surprise there, obviously. You've seen it on the artwork. He's got like a perfect impersonification. Akimo, Nelaklen, Zako, Doomies, who is like our little newcomer for this evening. The card has already been spoiled, but generally speaking, it's a specialist. And what he's got really interesting about him is that whenever he kills minions, he's increasing his contribution, provided that he does. So he's kind of storing minions, and then he can spend them to increase his contribution to a control token.
Yeah, and then if RG decides he wants to lean in a little bit harder on maybe his more traditional tactics, his other ability is those minions stored, while they can be saved till the end of the round for control point value. You can also spend them whenever a hero anywhere on the battlefield is marked to get 1+ piercing damage on
Oh,
that marked hero.
I had in mind it had to be within 3 hexes, but you're right. The mark can be anywhere on the battlefield. It's actually written plain.
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's like it sounds so insane you don't even register it the first time you're reading it. Yeah, that's a really good new hero. So that's a very strong addition to the red-green roster. That's going to be very helpful for them. And then he's also playing Kohai, who is like the hero previously spoiled that can like grab others, either ally or enemies, when he decides to replace his attack by an AoE. So he grabs the first hero hit, and he can swaps the contribution value on lead cards for marked enemy heroes in line of sight. The lead contribution becomes the damage modifier, which can be extremely significant. On the other side, we've got Cdubs, and he's playing Miyuki, Kichi, and Yami, so like the usual 3 red-yellow heroes that we see a lot in Kuruma compositions. Akimo, Kohai, and Hogosai, so like that's the green-red part.
He's got the OG red guys. Just a full original mono red team, which I feel like I haven't seen in quite a long time. It's always Kumaya's subbing in, taking one of these spots, and I got to imagine with this coming release, this is going to be a pretty rare lineup to actually see.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see much more red-green heroes than we've seen over the past few months. I think the new releases are leaning very heavily toward that color.
Yeah. So with the coin toss, we did see Cdubs taking first, and the other outsider of choice that Cdubs had brought was the OG. But with RG having his pick of him, he's gone ahead and taken the Silent Ambassador. And with that, you ready to get these victory conditions up and let the players start drafting with you?
No, I think that's good. You can go for that. I think they're using the Silent Ambassador for some reason. It's not showing in the UI.
Yeah, they are
Okay,
using
it
it.
is.
I'm not sure why either. Well, we know these new heroes have a tendency to break the UI a little bit.
No, I just had to refresh it.
Ah.
So as win conditions, we've got showdown. So like the first hero drafted will be the leader for that player, and if you defeat the enemy leader with your own leader, you win the game.
And so Cdubs, almost to no surprise,
Takes Yami
chooses Yami as his leader.
Yeah.
Let's see if RG's willing to match it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see AG going exactly the same and being like, yeah, fine, I'm going to take my Yami as a leader.
Yeah, the question is if he's going to put that Yami matching that lane or if he's going to choose to flip it around, send it to the other side. But hovering Kohai here, maybe thinking he wants that access to
Kohai
green
is
cards, honestly.
Kohai is going as a leader. Well, he has the same amount of HP, has the same armor. It's maybe a bit harder to kill someone with Kohai than it is with Yami, but it's not like it's far from undoable.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is
follow-up.
land the last hit with them. And Kohai does
Yeah.
actually have probably some of the easiest time securing that last hit with his AoE going through line of sight and stuff like that.
Yeah, the damages aren't that big though, but yeah. Sorry, as a last two win conditions, we've got invasion, so having 2 control token adjacent to the enemy tower nexus at the end of the turn, but only from the second turn. And left breach, so destroy the tower on the left lane. I mean, on your left lane, obviously. So we see Cdubs going with Hogosai and Kichi as the next two, so that kind of we're probably gonna see Kohai as the last one, right? Well, it might be a chemo actually. It might be a chemo.
It could be a chemo, just trying to hunt down that enemy Kohai, because I have a feeling that
Maybe
Cdubs isn't really looking at the breach. He's probably looking towards showdown with Doomies sitting in that left lane.
The slight risk with Akimo is that, like, once Kohai is, let's say, around midlife, you aren't too keen attacking him anymore with Akimo without, like, I mean, on a slightly unlucky event, you might be killing him with Akimo, which is not what you're trying to do. Like, I don't know if AG is running any sacrifice, for example, but you could see Kohai playing a sacrifice to be sure to die from an Akimo's attack and saving.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be so annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I've been so curious looking at this expansion where, I mean, I've ran a lot of red green, and cards like Sacrifice never made those lists. It was always just like things like Impervious, just because I never felt like you could really go all in on that control-y defense way.
Yeah,
But looking at these heroes, like, I think it's an option.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, I think that was the problem with red green, is that, like, too many heroes were geared towards dealing damage and not controlling enough the board. That was much more like green blue color pie. And I think now with Doomies and Kohai, you've got exactly what you're missing. You've got the control in terms of positioning, and you've got the control in terms of lead. And Doom is still able to dish out damages if you don't want to do any control with him.
I mean, in the past, it always felt like a very, I want to say, honest, like, archetype of the color wheel, where they didn't really have any particular tricks outside of just slides and sinkholes. So having this kind of control point manipulation now as part of their identity, I think is going to be very exciting to see.
Yeah, I think you're on spot with that one. Is that, like, they felt really fair, which in a competitive game is not necessarily always where you want to end up.
Yeah. I mean, the good archetypes often have tools that feel really unfair.
Yeah, exactly.
And the downside to red-green has always been, well, yeah, but our unfair tools are just as easily used by blue-green.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, right? Because to win, you want to have the less possible interactions for your opponent and the highest possible for you, and that's exactly what leads to this feeling of unfairness. I think with these two heroes, it's going to feel much more unfair now than it did in the past.
Yeah. I mean, the one upside to me is that their abilities are not really catching you off guard. Like, they're similar to Zakol in the sense that you always know it's on the table, so you just have to play around it and try and avoid it.
I think
strangely, I actually think
they're harder to play around.
Yeah. I mean, I think the hardest for me is looking at Kohai's terrifying ability.
Yeah.
Like, dodging those marks is not always going to be easy.
Yeah, it's like, he might end up in compositions where you've got marks of Kurumus anyway, and then you're like, yeah, I'm going to clear this condition, and you're like, okay, you don't have anyone to reapply it until end of round, so I'm safe to lead. And then you're leading, and then you hit a mark of Kurumu just at the end of the round, and you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, so we do see Cdubs choosing to open with Hokusai,
Yeah,
Going
putting
for a
him
pretty classic move here.
Yeah, right in the middle of the dome.
Does choose to lead from hand. We'll see if that mark ends up going down on Hokusai. But with leading from the hand, choosing to put Hokusai out this early, my bet is that that's an ult.
Well, he might also be like, I know you're gonna mark me, so I'm just.
Yeah, it could be a bluff too,
Yeah,
actually.
exactly. I'm just like, that psychic shield. I'm just gonna lead with it right now. That would be really good. That would be really, really good.
Yeah, the dream scenario now where I hit that psychic shield on the lead from deck and it wins me the dome.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be so excited.
Yeah, what would be super fun now is like Cdubs having double guessed himself and AOG doesn't mark him, and then you're like, oh crap. Because we don't have any way to mark ourselves. That might happen
Can
in the
Decree
future.
Primo only mark enemies?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, damn.
I might be wrong, but I really think the mark is only on enemy heroes. The same way you
So,
can only shapeshift allies.
mm-hmm. So Doomies is going to go ahead and rip a Dreams of Towlet cast from Kohai? Oh, so I think Kohai is the one casting this card.
Oh, that's nasty.
Oh, Kohai is the one activating.
Kohai is
Got it. Activation tokens are the wrong one.
He plays the Dreams, so he's in range of a pillar, and he pulls Sogosai outside of the dome.
Oh my goodness. And he's going to get so far away from this Yami here.
That's gross, right? Because now you're out of range of any control point. Like, your lead is useless, your contribution is none. It's like that. That's just gross. Yeah, Amulet here would have been really useful.
At this point, that card feels like it's just got to be staple in these green decks. Like,
yeah,
at least you got to hold on to it whenever you're seeing any enemy movement.
Yeah. I mean, he could also have positioned the Gosai in a way that it's much harder to pull outside the dome.
Yeah, I think his goal is just to pump as much damage as quick as possible. And unfortunately, Hokusai just can't get that markdown without getting in range himself.
Well, I mean, it's Kohai, right? Who is the leader. So now you've got two heroes already well positioned.
She does get another pump of damage on him.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know, like, he's taken a lot of damage already, right?
Yeah. And he still does have his armor reduced. Oh no, if he gets marked again, he will. But
yeah. I mean, Akimo can't get to him anyway.
Yami, even with a fast,
with
close.
With a fast, she probably can, because like, she can move, skirmish, and worship. But is that really worth it? Probably not.
I think if anything, that gets him in a more dangerous range to somehow kill himself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe you just want Yami to be like pushing her lane and then getting safe, trying to contest the dome in a way that next turn she can actually jump in. We see Zakol going. That's interesting. So they're gonna be a pillar.
We'll try and take that dome, I guess. Yeah, just goes ahead and move, worships, and leads. So he sets up that Doomies to be able to hold on to that minion for the control point.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're Cdubs here, you got to be questioning whether or not you're willing to contest that Zakol, because he's already behind in activations.
Well, you kind of can't really, right? Because Zakol is already in the dome, so like if you try to contest it, then energy can commit Akimo and Doomy's inside, and then you're like, well, crap, because Doomy can always he can contribute +1 to the dome, right? Like, it doesn't have to be a lane.
Yeah.
So yeah, you kind of have lost the dome already. No matter what.
I mean, my assumption here is that our Cdubs is more worried about the left breach than he is about losing the dome. So getting Doomies out of the lane and into here. Like, if he can somehow not lose this lane this turn, that's probably the biggest win for him.
Yeah, I mean, he might also lose it, but like by nothing, right? I mean, in the sense that he's tying it. Sorry. So like,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
Yami can
Tying
kill,
it would also be good.
yeah, it's like Yami can kill 2 minions, and because tying doesn't make any more, like if you aren't winning it by more than 2, strictly more than 2, then tying it doesn't necessarily, not, I mean, winning it doesn't necessarily bring you a lot of value.
Well, you have to win it by at least. I think on turn 1, you only ever have to win it by 1.
No, I mean, if you
Just
want,
having the threat.
if you want to be sure that winning it, yeah, but like, what are you really threatening? It's not your own left bridge, so you like.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying this is RG's left breach. Like, he
Oh
should be.
yeah, sure.
He's most scared of Doomy's taking that.
Yeah, but that was my point. Is like, if you really want to, if you're Cdubs, you just want to, like, tying it has the same value as winning it, because
Yes.
if you win it and you don't win it by more than 2, then it's a single win from AOG to put it back in your zone anyway.
Yes.
So like, if you do win it by 3, then he needs to win it twice to bring it back into your half. But like, it's such an effort for like literally no value that I don't see that happening.
But we do see Akimo going ahead and contesting it.
Yeah,
So,
and he's hitting Zackle, but like for a little bit of damage. It's not too bad.
perhaps
But then your Akimo is in trouble, right? Because exactly.
Yeah.
We see
I mean,
move,
maybe
worship,
Cdubs just accepts he can't win that lane and is going to sacrifice it this turn for damage.
I'm not fully convinced about the worship here from Akimo.
I mean, I'm not. I guess
you could have skirmish, right?
Maybe his modifier is not good enough that he's more happy with the guaranteed 1 damage than the potential to flip a 0 on the skirmish.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Why not?
But I mean, that's a lot of damage down on Akimo. So if we do see,
well, it's 6 damage. It's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah. But it means Cole and Kohai both pretty low themselves. So maybe Cdubs can sack this lane and just go in on getting the damage down, but he's not close enough to the other lane for me to be comfortable with that.
Yeah, and the problem now is that like you made it easy for Yami to jump in on your Akimo. Not that she will necessarily want to do it, but like if Cdubs is sure, and that's a big if and it's a big risk, but if he's sure to get the showdown, then you just made his life easier, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Now that means you're giving up the lane to Doomies, and given, as you pointed out earlier, it's the left bridge for your opponent, that's maybe not the wisest choice. On the other hand, does it matter? Does it matter that much if you're just leaving Yami against Doomies? Like, is she really able to make such a big difference?
Ooh, the time clutch coming down makes me think she's going to shoot for the showdown. Or she could kill the minion here, we'll see.
Yeah, the thing is, like, she could have killed both minions without the time glitch. So I think she's going to go for the showdown. Or it's a matter of positioning herself after having killed both minions.
I mean, that could get her in the dome, and then she's more likely to be taking it here. Having silent means he can throw Kohai.
No, that's it.
We're
in for the showdown.
Oh man, he's only going to get worship damage off.
I mean, that's already worship damage, right? And you're marked, so your armor is going away because you're in line of sight of Focus Eye.
Yeah, but he is going to lose the
Silent Ambassador. 2 damage, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, the silence here is going to be annoying for sure. But I mean,
more than likely that Kohai gets pulled away back into the dome. Maybe swap it with Akimo.
Yeah, very
and then Stone Storm the Akimo and the Yami.
Oh yeah, you want to swap Kohai with your opponent's Akimo. Yeah, that makes sense. That would be fairly good.
I mean, I'm curious to see what actually got led with in that dome. Well, he actually is guaranteed it. That lead is on
Yeah, the
Hoga's
lead
side, which
isn't in
is
the dome
useless.
anymore. For some reason, someone
Yeah,
got pulled out.
Doomy still gets to activate.
Yeah, so that's like a lane and a lane
Man,
and the dome one for AG. Yeah, that's rough. That's
so
rough.
I've been thinking about this reading over Doomy's card, but like, is there anything that would stop RG from say moving, attacking a minion so that he stores that minion on his card, but then moving out of range of a pillar so he can essentially store that minion for next round?
Um,
It says that his main ability, where you remove all minions from his card, requires you to be in range.
yeah, I guess if you're out of range of a pillar, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, because he only needs to win this by 1 this turn, so by being able to stock that extra control point for the next round, sounds like it would be really good. And he can do that with a move, and attack, and a skirmish.
Um, yeah, you'd have to skirmish into the dome, but I mean that's fine.
Oh no, he can move and then attack a minion and then skirmish into that forward cover hex.
I think I prefer to be into the dome because then next turn I'm like, if I need to contribute to the lane, I can contribute to the lane. If I need to contribute to the dome, I can
Yeah, but I
also.
think this minion's gonna get contributed to the it's gonna get contributed to the dome control point value.
Not if you don't see the pillar, right? That was
You
your
would you
point.
just have to be within 3.
Oh yeah, and you can't put yourself outside of the range of 3.
Yeah, he would have had to go to the edge of the map rather than towards the interior like this.
Yeah, that's right.
But maybe he could also worship. No, because anywhere you place the pillars within 3. Dang.
Yeah, but then you don't have the skirmish to get out of range of the pillar. So.
hmm So we are just going to see him drop a mark onto a chemo. I
So
think he spends that minion.
there definitely will be cases where what you described will happen, right? Like where
Yeah, yeah.
you will be able to get outside of the range of a pillar, store a minion for next turn, and be like, okay, cool, now I have +2 to my contribution.
hmm
Like just because you might have cards that allow you to remove pillars. Zoklan's Hanger, just one at random. That one would probably fit fairly well into Doomies.
Uh-huh. I have a feeling Doomies is going to like that card quite a bit.
Yeah, I think so.
So
Because like,
Kishi dropping
yeah,
a Triumph of the
that's gonna be
Light?
like you kill a minion, you store him, and then you just Zoklan, you remove the pillar, so you aren't freeing the minion, but you're also killing a lot of the users on the board, and then you're like, next turn
hmm
I'm gonna contribute twice, and I'm still winning that lane that turn anyway.
Yeah. So we do see that Triumph of the Light coming down. I think mostly just to try and modify those draws for the next round here.
Yeah.
So that one pillar that's getting removed isn't really contributing much here. But ooh, this Sun Ambassador win's going to be big.
I mean, silent is always really good, right? It's
Yeah,
very, it's one of those outsiders that, yeah, sure, sometimes she can be absolutely devastating, but like, it's really rare that she does nothing, especially on that map.
yeah. On 2 lane, it feels so much more significant, and the more these movement effects become a factor, like being able to put characters into corners or
Yeah,
get them slowed in bad positions, it's going to just only become a bigger and bigger deal.
yeah.
So both players do manage to win their breach lanes, putting themselves in a position to at least threaten it in the next round. But at least for Cdubs, Showdown is probably the one thing he's got on his mind. All his heroes are going to be away from that left breach lane.
I mean,
Uh,
it's cool. It's cool to threaten both of them at the same time, right? Because like your
yeah.
opponent had, he had Kohai in the lane, and now you're like, well, you you can't stay, but also you have to stay, which
Yeah.
is a bit of a problem. Now, to AG's advantage, that's the second lane for Cdubs. So if Aegis
hmm
blows up the tower, blows up the lane first, he wants before Cdubs can win.
Yeah, and having that lane advantage and silent to be able to put a chemo, the
Yeah,
closest hero to that lane, out of position, it C-Dubs has got to try and get that showdown as fast as he can
yeah, it really feels like that.
before
Like,
Kohai can
yeah,
run.
it feels like now your left lane is doomed somehow, and you're gonna have to capitalize on winning before that, which just leaves you shut down basically.
Yeah, and that 7 health with the 1 armor, like, that's not really an easy threshold for Yami to get over here.
Oh, just for Yami, no, but like there is a
So if
Kichi
it takes
around.
multiple activations, it can be kind of difficult.
I don't know, because like there is Kichi around. You've got the Flux, so
Yeah, we could see
bad
something
things
good
might
out of
happen,
there.
right? Okay, yeah, here is the pull off from the ambassador, as you said earlier. Yeah, now is much harder to grab, and having all your heroes in that left side of the map doesn't make you any good.
Yeah, and he's got
yeah.
3 of them slowed.
I don't remember who was discussing in the chat
Oh,
not long ago that like the random draw for lane 1 and 2 was
well,
not
I
often
think that was
statistically
Cdubs.
significant. Yeah,
Oh, never
well,
mind.
that's
Oh, that's the opposite. Cdubs is the big proponent that it is.
yeah, and someone said, well, is it really that significant in most games? Just like in most game, I don't know, but in that one, it's really changing the whole shape of the game, because like
Yeah.
if the lane was swapped, Cdubs would be like, yeah, I think I won. In the current situation, it's a much different story.
Yeah, I mean, someone like Doomies feels much more threatening when you're putting him in the pushing lane rather than the defending. So
Yeah,
having the ability to
he's kind.
just solo win that lane by himself is so scary.
Yeah, he's kind of like the Estrada or Tlacali of red green, right?
Which I mean, I'm happy with considering Zakol. I mean, he's always had the ability to kill those extra minions, but
It's difficult.
it was never really all that great, and you couldn't really do it and get his push effects going off in the same turns very often. So we did see the big attack and the Stone Storm come down, getting a pretty hefty amount of damage on these guys. Chemo down at 3 health.
Akimo is kind of like if you don't activate first next turn, you're dead, right?
Well, I don't know that anybody's really going to chase out for him. Like if I'm RG here, I'm going to try and get these heroes walled up in my lane and just secure the win and defend Kohai.
I'd agree with you, but at the same time, Akimo is like double card choice. You kill him, right? So if you don't have much to spend for that, why not?
Yeah, it's just all those heroes are melee. If one of them was ranged and could step out, Kohai is.
Yeah, I mean,
but you don't want Kohai to be the one to do that.
Kohai is too risky, like yeah. But like your own Akimo, he's right in range, right?
Yeah, he could run out, smack him, and then duck back into the lane. Yeah. Or duck back into the dome.
Doomies might also say, well, fine, I'm just gonna kill you, because you can get marked by someone else. So like Doomies would have to act first, store a minion on his card, and then someone else would just mark Akimo, and like the flip will decide what happens.
Yeah, and we do see Cdubs here debating on who to activate of his potentially 3 slow heroes and Akichi. And man, dude, the Kohai's pull having a slow on it too is just crazy to me.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really, and it's like now that you're slowed, it's so much harder to avoid the next hook.
Yeah, I mean, like thematically, I love it. It's like you get pulled in and you're basically trapped in there with them.
Yeah.
But like, wow, that's a
that's a hefty ability.
It's a scary card.
Yeah, definitely. And he's bringing so much control.
Mm-hmm. And
I'd be like, I'm gonna say never, and I haven't played enough recently, but I feel like it's gonna be in every single red-green composition. Like, there's no way you're putting red-green on the board and you're not playing him, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Doomies, I'd see argument not to see him in some matchups, and you're like, well, I think I can't pull Heart of the Roasting now, because like there is too many kill. Even if there is many kill objectives, it might still be relevant, but like there
Yeah.
might be higher priorities. But like Kohai, I think is just universally good.
I mean, I think as it stands, like they definitely look to be the new or like the core to red green.
Yeah.
In the way like Nantaka and Vorhild kind of looked like they could be a type of core for a certain kind of deck. But like this one feels much more versatile than that one, right?
I mean, yeah,
Where
Doomies is the Yami of red green, basically. Like,
I mean, he can do both.
he's doing more or less exactly the same thing, right? Like he's pushing well, he's doing damage well. He's not moving as quickly, I guess. He doesn't have the same mobility.
Yeah.
He can also
Which I'm
impact
fine
the
with that
board.
being red green's kind of weakness here,
Yeah.
is that they don't have that mobility.
We see
And they don't really have a lot of burst damage.
We see Hogosai
Tried to
going
get in
and worshipping on Kohai. So like now he's marked, he doesn't have armor and has 5 HP.
Yeah.
So he's kind of well in range of a kill from Yami. Because like
but
you
he's gonna
move, you
run.
worship, and you attack. But yeah, exactly. That's what was expected. It's like he's just moving out, and now it's like so much harder to get him.
So the fear right now has to be that somehow that little bit of damage goes down, that you can flux out of Kuruma's judgment.
Well, Oyami's playing gank, and you've got no flags, and you're like, hey,
that would be huge.
Yeah, that would be insane, because like gank is one of those cards we haven't seen in such a long time.
Yeah.
That would be so cool, because like he's sitting just aside 2 bush, just exactly where you want him to be. It's like that would be really fun.
That stone barricade being able to stop an attack, and I mean, out of Hogosai is probably what keeps him out of range of a. I think he's just conceding it.
That's a concede, right?
I don't know.
No. What was that? We've seen interesting cards for half a second.
I think he might have just thought it was funny that he had the 2 Akimos out.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, that's why he needed to get Hogosai right beside him, I guess, to get that damage in.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I'm not so sure he's going to get another chance to do that.
Well, I think in the position he's in now, you can't kill Kohai, right? So you have to save that lane. And
I don't know that he can get there.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like something you just can't do.
Yeah, even Kichi can't get there without a fast.
Yeah, it's like no one can get there, right? I think that's exactly what it is. It's like Akimo and Yami are slowed. In no world they're gonna end up in the right side of the map.
I mean, I really thought from Cdubs' original positioning that he was going to be willing to just fight it out in that lane 1. Like, sacrifice his own left breach for the start of it. Leave Yami to push his side lane by herself. But I guess not.
I think his reasoning was like, whatever, it's Doomies, that lane is lost. Which might be true, but if you're trying to fight it, at least you're giving yourself a few turns, right?
Yeah.
Where here, I really don't see any world where you're not losing kind of instantly, right, in the minion phase. Well, you still need to be 6 up, but like you're already at 5 against 1, so it's not a huge effort.
I mean, just the Doomies attack.
Yeah, Doomies kill the minion and you're 6 up. Yeah, so it's kind of done, right? Because now Yami's moved and worshipped, so she's stuck here. She can always skirmish, but that's not gonna bring her really far. And yeah, no, she hasn't moved. She skirmished, sorry, but like that doesn't change much.
Yeah. I mean, I think she just gets that attack in for some more damage, and you can go away at least. You've got some damage on an Akimo. Maybe you've killed him by the end of this game, or maybe you've killed Zakol. But
you don't have Kurumu's judgment anyway, because otherwise you play it where you wait just to avoid the doom or
mm-hmm.
the what's the other one? Downfall. I don't remember the name of the other one.
I can't remember it either. Yeah. Or release.
The one, no, the one that burns the mana by releasing conditions. Because I was like, if you want to play Mark of Kurumu, right, like you need to have 3 mana, which means you need to be able to flex, which means if your opponent has a mana burn with, and he's got red runes all over the board. So
yeah.
He probably has
I
one.
hope he has some.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got
Fall to Earth. Yeah.
Or Down to Earth, one of those two.
Down to Earth. Yeah.
Somehow they're falling.
Yeah, it's called Korja falling in a fireball. Yeah, that's a great card. Okay, we see Akimo going for RG, getting rid of Cdubs Akimo. Yeah. Oh nope. We see the redirect.
Not going to give RG the satisfaction.
Yeah, at least you've done that, I guess.
Oh, the Akimo's Oath coming out, though.
Okay, so you're dead.
Gets another attack. That's going to get him.
Yeah, no, you're dead. But
Akimo responding with Akimo's Oath.
Akimo's Oath is one of these new cards where you're applying Marked on Frenzy, and then if he's marked, you apply Frenzy, and otherwise you attack Marked, and then you get an attack action against the targets. Yeah, it's a fairly strong.
Ooh, that's a big hit out of that Akimo there. Getting that +3 on the flip.
Yeah, sadly, it's not going to make any difference in the game, but like that's a massive hit.
Yeah, well, it could mean that RG loses Akimo for his run here.
Cdubs Akimo hasn't played yet, so like he should come back in turn 3, right?
Yes. He would come back in turn 3. But I think if Cdubs can go out here and at least take out a hero, that's at least something.
It's better than not doing it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's one less hero. Option. It's one less hero for RG to use next week.
I mean, it would have been a lot more satisfying if he took out his Yami somehow.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say I think
he didn't even bring it
than Yami.
RG cowardly, hiding his Yami in the sidelines.
Do you think he's gonna like Yami's love from RG is gonna shift towards Doomies or Kohai?
I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, is it possible? Maybe, probably not.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
she still has incredible mobility.
Like, let's not forget, this dude wrote an entire dissertation on just how to play Yami.
Yeah, he would have to do
like
that.
20-something pages.
Yeah, no, that's not gonna happen.
It's an almost scary level of dedication to that hero.
So we see Akimo skirmishing and worshipping? No?
I think?
I
thought his activation was over. Because he moved, attacked, and then skirmished into that bush.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he moved first.
So now Cdubs has just his Kichi to go.
Oh, yeah, that's what they were pointing when he was grabbing Kichi.
Hopefully he kills the Akimo. Just get something on the board here.
Yeah, it would be cool, but like he can't skirmish. So you're gonna have to move an attack, right? Oh yeah, okay. He's not going to do it.
Opts not to. Maybe he wants to get Zakol off the table?
I mean, if you get Zakol out of the dome, at least you might get the dome, right?
Oh, if he wasn't gonna have his lane blown up before then. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's like if the lane blows, then. But that's where the time glitch might have been a bit more useful. Yeah, it looks like.
I'm just not convinced that bringing Yami all the way over there for the 1 worship damage was worth his while.
Yeah, I think that's what.
Like, she has some ability to go on hunt for a final hit on round 2.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's Kichi activation. He isn't even killing Zaku.
Just didn't have the
Not
damage in
far
hand.
though, not far.
Yeah, I mean, he did get the +3.
Yeah, 6 damage is great when you're piercing. Yeah, so like Doom is attacking the minion, and there you are. It's 6. Oh, starting with a skirmish. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, gets +3 himself. And then go ahead and throw down a lead and secure
Yeah,
that lane.
that's the game.
I think what's going to be interesting for me is seeing how much players of this kind of red-green mid-rangey deck, how hard they're willing to index on the minions with Doomy. Like, it almost feels like you don't need Burial Rites alongside him, but at the same time, like, there's nothing stopping you from going in on it and adding that to his kind of power budget here. But with that, that left breach going off, do you want to go ahead and hop in with the players?
Yeah, let's go. I think it's a bit of a complicated trick to store it, so like you really need to get a lot of values out of it because you're spending for that. Like it's not given to you granted.
Like you said though, like with Doomies, like if you would have gone in the dome, then I could, because I also had the Dream, and then I had another Stone Barricade in hand, so I could have just popped that, move, attack the minion to absorb it, and then slide into the dome and contest
get
that
pseudo
way, so.
presence. Yeah,
Right, exactly.
I mean, it was really to go to the dome would just be to be in the middle.
That's
so I
fair.
could go.
Yeah,
so I could go to the side or side.
That's true, because that's honestly what kind of saved me, was my ability to run away with big in chunks there.
Yeah, displacement definitely changes the way Showdown works, though. Especially I'm not used to playing in Silent Ambassador anymore either.
Yeah, because everyone
that's really what just
there.
felt like it won the game, was like literally that card.
Yeah.
Him winning the Outsider. I should have just went to the dome and try to contest it, even though Doomies probably could still win it.
Mm-hmm.
But then he couldn't displace as bad and slow me.
Right.
But maybe even so, I don't know.
Yeah, the Hogosai pool was
Well, I should have led from deck there.
Yeah.
Well, it made him activate it first, but I guess you could just do that last. It was just I definitely probably, if he's here, you still can hit me wherever.
So my
you have to move,
concern,
worship, and then attack though. So you have to. Well, I guess you had dreams though, right?
Yeah, I had Dream and Stone, so I had 2 ways of pillar generation. Yeah.
Yep. So you have to you can't do that play with Hosai, I guess, unless you have Amulet.
Well, you can get a bit closer. You don't have to be on the middle hex, right? Like you can stay a bit further away.
So if you would have stayed any of these 5 there, then I can only yank you to the boundary lines.
Yeah, because you can't pull the person out of the dome because you have to be near the line.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So they're gonna be on the other side of the line, inside the dome.
Yeah. When I ran it back, like in my head, I was like, because I was debating doing that first versus second, or like a little bit later. But then I'm like, what if he slides like someone in the way so that I couldn't harpoon Hogosai out of the way? Because like I figured that you might have seen that, like that's what the eventual plan was, to harpoon them with Kohai, and so that's why I was just like, all right, let's go ahead and activate and just yank Hogosai and make him his lead value worthless off the top. But then the misplay definitely, I think, was not hiding in the bush. Definitely should have done that, as opposed to hanging out wide open in territory there like that. That was, I think, a bad play.
Yeah, that might have saved you though. That might have actually saved you, because I would have then with Kichi used the time glitch on him instead to get to your Kohai.
Okay,
and then Yami wouldn't have rotated over. I would have actually went Yami lane then to dome with her instead.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't know if that changes anything if you still win silent, because you're just like swap and then I just lose still because I'm like way over there.
Right.
The silent combo with breach seems ridiculous with Doomies.
Yes. Oh yeah.
You almost have to like stay in here, or you can't like contest this side, because you could actually bait one of your heroes to swap too. That with theirs, so to move their hero out of the dome over to their lane to keep them farther away from here.
Yes.
Just crazy.
Cdubs, do you remember your discussion about like randomly drawing the lane token? Sorry. about like which lane's first, which is second. Because I think in that game, if there was swap, that
It's a
might
different
have
game,
been
totally.
hugely
Oh
different.
yeah, definitely.
That's what I just literally said. I didn't want him because he has Doomies. I don't want him to have left breach advantage lane or breach advantage lane, and he gets it. That's the first objective.
And we flip it over, and it's like, well, crap.
And then it's showdown on the other one. We're like, oh, okay, this is gonna be fast. So one way or the other. And if you can disrupt me enough like you did, then it's definitely in your favor. Because showdown, if you don't disrupt it, it's going to happen eventually. But if you don't, if the opponent wins, then obviously it doesn't happen then.
Yeah, after Kohai got completely nuked, I was like, okay, I absolutely have to win here. And that was the thing, like, I was thinking, I'm like, okay, how can I get safety? Like, originally I was thinking of like swapping with Hokusai, but I'm like, no, Yami's still there. And then I was like, oh, wait a minute. I have people in the dome that I can trade because I can use the target point on Kohai himself and then fling him into the dome with whomever I want.
Yeah, moving him like that and giving my chemo like slow and way over here was great. Like that's really powerful, just that ability on its own, it feels like.
Yes.
RG, what was your reasoning for having Kohai as your showdown leader here?
Hell if I know, man.
Tanky.
I mean, he's as tanky as almost everyone else on the team.
That was pretty much the plan.
Too, I guess.
The plan here was I'm probably going to go red-green. Yami is here to supervise her harem. As you notice, she's dyed yellow because I couldn't find gold to remind Ricardo that we need a gold Yami promo for the Kickstarter, which is going to be dropping very soon. So I just kind of brought her along for the show. There we go. Bring her. And then I'm looking at my cards and I'm like, okay, Nelic is definitely not the showdown answer. Akimo, like I said, like Akimo has this weird thing about him that even though he has 18 hit points, like he just seems to die very quickly. I mean, like you saw what happened. My Akimo got shot for 10 damage thanks to the Akimo Oath that Cdubs dropped there in response. And so he went from 15 to 5 in essentially one effect, which is slightly wild.
I think the thing also is like, because he's dealing such an amount of damage, people are like, okay, if I can just chunk him down, then I'm getting rid of him. It's not necessarily just the armor point, it's also because it's like, it's just scary. So like, you're fine doing anything to get rid of him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the armor does like effectively add 1 HP to their pool for every time that they have to get hit.
Yep.
Yeah,
so,
but
like,
in general, it's
Yami has like effective 23 compared to Akimo's 18.
Yeah.
Until Hokusai comes and melts your armor, which I kept forgetting to do the math on. That's why you call like the tracker chip, because I'm like, nope, that's right. Hokusai armor melt. Haven't played with Hokusai for a while. That is, in fact, how he works.
Yeah, we're gonna have to relearn those heroes because we're gonna look them up. You're gonna.
I think because there's gonna be a lot of these one armor heroes in the metagame potentially that I think Hokusai is gonna be valuable in red because for kill conditions you definitely want him around.
Oh yeah,
just to be able to make their armor turn everything into chemos. Then
just enabling Yami's damage combo essentially is already like the return of Yami Hokusai essentially.
We love to see it.
Yep.
All praise be to Yami. We love to see it.
The yellow rune is not wasted on Yami. Like you can always play either a movement effect because like she really that, or like you could spend them on resurrect eventually. Like there is good things to do with just a bit of
yellow. Play this though, where I would have had like a 6+ on him. I could have worshipped into the dome, try to go for it, but you can't play Akimo's Oath.
Yeah.
It's just rough.
Yeah. Dual rune cards. Where's the Neliclin?
Or 4+, I mean.
Well, at some point she might have her own double rune.
Oh, she does.
I'm terrified for what she's gonna have.
They already mentioned like with the next expansion, that's where the blue, yellow, and the red, yellow cards are coming. So she'll get her come up and serve. No, that's not the right word. She'll get her dues whenever the new expansion comes out.
Yeah, that's
yep.
Which, by the way, Giacomo, since I know you're watching, when can we start talking about those?
It's going to be a while for those, probably.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Let us get the new ones in our hands first.
Yeah, exactly. Not everything at once. There's a lot of new stuff already.
There's already too many cards, I feel like, there at this point, because it's so hard to fit cards into your deck.
Oh yeah.
There's so many different ones to play. It's just like, well, you're gonna see a lot of varied deck lists, I think, at Worlds.
Which is good. You don't want to see the same deck list because that's boring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. It's just
Yeah,
what people chose to bring, I guess.
I'm not worried about like the too much aspect of the cards. Like usually it's not a problem if there is a lot of them. It becomes a problem where like the variance between the best cards and the worst one is too big, so that like you always see the same subset.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that the new the design of the new cards, they support like specific heroes, specific strategies. So it's like I won't say you will not always see them, because I think some of them you will always see, but it leaves enough room to wiggle things around depending on the hero you want to onboard or your general strategy. So I think it's fine.
Yeah, I think it does help like give these more specific strats a bit of an edge compared to more generalist decks, which have always felt really good, where it was just like chuck in every good staple, and just go for it.
Exactly.
Oh, there's my quick shot that
you can kind of like hedge towards different like strategies with the new cards, and maybe go lean a little in one direction or another with certain heroes.
Yeah. I'm trying to find one of my copies of it, which of course it's on the bottom.
You played a 1 of?
No, I had 2 and 3. Like, so Akimo's deck was basically 3 2 ofs and 1 3 of, and of course, and 3 of the. For God's sakes, are they all seriously on the bottom?
Dude,
not
suspense is killing me.
Yes. Okay. I must have flipped the other one. Yeah. This was the card I was looking for. Just because I was like, okay, this could be some potentially fun shenanigans with that one, especially like with combining that with like Akimo's Oath and like getting what's his face Kohai to get multiple pools, which I think is going to be something that definitely needs to be explored, because it says that you get to take the attack action, and then you can, if you have the pillar set up, obviously, for either of those 2 oaths, then you can just modify the attack to be the alternative attack, and you can just start yanking people. So, like, Akimo's Oath, I think, at the... wait, it's an attack action.
Would that work with Kotlik?
No, it wouldn't, because it's a target. Never mind. Reading is unfortunate.
Say target, yeah.
Yeah. Never mind. Well, yeah, the caster is an attack action.
Subsequent attack action targets.
Yeah. So that's unfortunate. Never mind. Scrap that plan. Reading is hard.
This is like a better gank, because you get a teleport.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I mean, on the other hand, gank might have won you the game this game.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah.
I could have flux ganked. Well, I could have played this too and actually warped over here because he had pillars over there.
That's true.
I just wasn't playing it because I only had Kohai. But I guess if you play against green, you can play that card.
Yami can't
if
do
you're
that.
Just... Yami can't. That's the thing. It's like the gank would have worked, but not yours.
No, I'm just saying getting someone in the lane to be able to just the lead. I don't know. Attack a minion, maybe lead. So this is enemy, right? Yeah, you can actually kill a minion with that too.
So I had 4 minions. Doomy's counted for 5 because he had a lead. So that would have been 9 points. Then I also had Kohai for 10. So yeah, if you would have led, that would have maybe. Yeah,
no,
it would have been close.
It's not enough.
No. Yeah, because I got rid of all your minions.
You needed to be 5 up from the point you killed the minion. So
right.
That would have blown it over anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So I had this thought during that first turn. I'm just checking with you guys if you think this works. So your Doomies could have moved up, attacked a minion while in range of a pillar, stored that minion, and then skirmished out of range of the pillar.
Correct.
Would you essentially store that minion until next round?
You do, yes. If you do not have the within 3 effect, then everything gets turned off. No minion absorption, no bonus count, and also no minion.
Absolutely beautiful.
Oh wow.
The thing is, it requires you to put quite a bit of effort to get that shenanigan working.
Well, if you don't need to win the lane that much, like his case where he
just had to win by 1.
Yeah, you can just put a pillar just far 3 away from where you're gonna be, or 4 away from where you're gonna be after you move. and then you have it stored to breach the next turn. Because
Yes.
you
Yeah,
don't
but
need to
that's
win
the
that
thing.
control.
That's the thing, is like that pillar can't be placed by your worship then. Because
Sure,
Yeah,
otherwise,
you have to set it
You
up
worship. You
prior.
worship. So if you worship at the okay, yeah, put Doomies is here. What I could have done was I could have worshipped, dropped the pillar like right
There,
here,
move. Well, you need one of those cards. I think.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
you
yeah.
can't. You don't have enough actions to do it if you have to
Yeah,
worship.
you need a
That's my
card.
point.
Yeah, you'd need the
Yeah.
card. Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Or you just do it like you just did and just have another green hero set that pillar up first.
Right.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
have another
yeah,
green
of course.
arrow
Yeah.
set up.
The other
But yeah.
option we were discussing is like you do it anyway, all the same, and then you use Zotland Hunger to kill. Like it wouldn't be turn one obviously, but like I think it's gonna go really well with Zotland Hungus because like he can drop the pillar, kill the minion, remove the pillar to kill the rest of the minions, and then next turn he counts for double.
Oh yeah, because then
Ooh, that's a good call.
you store like 3 or 4. Maybe.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Especially if you like drop like combustion on the field or something. Like I was looking for the combustion play, but I was like, on second thought, let's just on lane 1 and breach.
Yeah, because it doesn't need to be minions from an attack, right? So it's like, yeah, I think
Right.
we're gonna
Oh,
see
yeah.
a few. Yeah, there are gonna be a few funny things with that. Like,
Which I don't know if you showed the deck before the game started or not, but I assume
No,
at
we
least
didn't.
whenever. Yeah. Oh, you didn't? Okay, yeah. So Doomies is holding 3 quick shots and 2 combustions.
yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
They have the Zotlins. I saw you had Zotlins too.
Yeah, I think
Zotlins-
Zotlands is a bit anti-synergetic actually, because like you need to remove the pillar. So if that's your only pillar, then you
Right.
probably don't store the minions because of the timing.
Correct. You don't because
it's
removing the pillar
cost.
is the cost. Yeah.
But that's
But
still
if you
good.
do have another pillar,
Yeah,
then
exactly.
boom, 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 you all of a sudden have like 4 minions, and it's like you're feeling pretty good.
And that solves the problem of like I want to store my minions, but they are 2 fucking pillars, so I can't. It's just like
Right.
well, no, I can because I'm just gonna Zotland, store them all, and then I'm gonna move out of the range of the second pillar, and then like should be possible, right?
Yeah. But yeah, the deck was like all over the place. Like Nelliclin literally has 3 copies of Presence and then 6 red cards. Like Nelliclin was there in case I need to deal with Presence, and then I'm like, all right, here we go, Presence, and then because I assumed that I was going to have enough pillars lying around on the field, that getting access to red for Nelliclin wasn't actually going to be an issue. So I'm like, there's no point in me gimping the rest of my team with more blue cards. I have the sinkholes, I have the rampant hatred. Like, let's just lock it down with some red.
I mean, turn 1 with Doomies, if someone set up a pillar, you can go into the dome with 2 minions if you've got a quick shot, and then you're like, yeah.
You can.
Plus doing the dome with Doomies. Like,
yes. Oh, yes, you can. And it's wonderful.
no, it's gross, but yeah, it's cool.
No, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. We love to see it. Like I said, I've been waiting ever since I found out about Doomie's existence so long ago. Like, I'm like, we need this hero.
Oh yeah, I
like,
mean, we do, because he's kind of a counteract to Prisons being
yes,
only to blue runes, right? So it's like,
yes,
it's a good thing that he's here, definitely.
It is a great thing that Doomies has finally come into, because now I don't have to, because like that was always the debate. It's like, I love red. We have Yami, we have Kichi, we have Akimo, but
we've got
we don't have
Ekrit.
Presence.
And
we
we've
don't
got
have
Ekrit
Presence
because we need to play. We need to have the ability
no,
to play Presence.
no. Ekrit is no. Ekrit, no. I mean, to be fair, Ekrit is a very good control option hero. But like control style is just terribly boring.
No, it's like if you're in a matchup where like
Dude,
you've got 6 heroes in your roster. If you're in a matchup where like you're flipping a lot of control conditions,
that's
conditions, then
That's
having
fair.
Presence can, like, if there is a tamer, no, not
Oh,
a
yeah.
tamer, sorry, a Skytear master, like having Presence is just like game changing. So it's just like,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I'm gonna take a crit. I don't want to, but like I have to play Presence. So like,
Right.
like you're right. Know that there is Doomies instead.
Oh, you love to see
You
it.
don't have to do that anymore.
You love to see it. Like, that's the thing. It's like, oh, you're going to go in Presence in the dome. That's cool. I'll do something similar, except I'll bring 2 minions, like you mentioned, with the quick shot attack and skirmish into the dome with someone else placing the pillar, except I'm worth 3 and you're only worth 2. So
Yeah.
And you burned the flux for that. Like you have consumed your first turn or your first player advantage using the flux, and I'm still outmatching you 1 for 1. Now, obviously, then you'll probably have to send someone in with a lead action, but nevertheless, I've still got more power than you in terms of control for the dome contest.
Yeah, we're gonna see Doomies and Kohai a lot.
Oh yes. Oh, absolutely. Kohai is ridiculous with disruption, and Doomies is the answer for control that we have needed.
Yeah, they're definitely like the standard pillar of the red-green composition now. I feel like they're kind of the two go-to, and then you build your team around them.
The specialist and support they needed.
Yes. Oh yes. Now all we need is like, what do we have left on the list? Yellow needs a marksman, and blue needs...
Blue needs nothing.
Yeah, blue
Blue's
needs
got it
nothing.
all, man.
Blue's done.
Of
Blue
course
doesn't
they
need
don't.
anything. Yeah, blue needs nothing. They
Let's just
have
leave off
Freyhill.
that last hero.
They have Freyhill. They have Shillavi. They have Estrida. They have what they need.
They're the only
They
one
have
that doesn't have
Profile.
2 of any of them. That's why.
That's fair. Yeah. I don't know. Give blue nothing. Like the next set, the blue yellow cards, just ban them all. Just give us red yellow cards. Call it a day. More power for Yami.
All right.
All right. Well, good game. This was fun.
Good game. Let's are we gonna wrap it up, I guess?
I think so. Also, I would less like to point out, since I know there are going to be several of you that have watched this and are immediately thinking, oh, this is fun now. Any of you who vote for Kenwi for next week, I'm going to ban you from ever showing up on Outsiders Only.
Okay, let's all vote for Kenwi next week.
So we're going to be lacking guests
Dang
for
it.
quite some time, I think.
It's gonna be really rough when Zaragul
What's
and
the
Karina
second
vote for
worst?
Kenway.
So here's the thing. I will just throw Karina off the show. Zaragul that will burn all of the goodwill that Zaragul and I have, and we'll be back to square zero.
What's the second worst besides Kenway for us to vote for?
It's just forcing to bring Yami so
Brovar
you
or
can kill her.
something? Give you
Accurate.
Brovar?
Brovar. Yeah, accurate Brovar. Neither hero that appeals.
Golbjorn.
Goldbjorn. No, Goldbjorn's kind of okay.
You
He's
do like him,
an
okay.
interesting.
He's a beater.
Yeah, he's okay. I wouldn't terribly mind. He's all right.
We'll give you the option for that, and then something. Or do they do different colored heroes for the votes? Usually, for
Yeah.
different factions.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks to both of you for playing that game. Thanks a lot, Matais, for co-commenting. That was really cool. Sorry, Zaragul is asking what? I think
No, Zaragul heard correctly. Zaragul heard me correctly. I didn't stutter.
So yeah, thanks a lot, everyone. Have a nice rest of your Sunday, and see you next week.
Take care, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Play Skytear.
Play more Skytear.
Always more Skytear. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, we're off now.
Woo! That was